I feel like Wes Watson needs a new nickname, especially after we examine the gym situation more, where the brother man ran up on him, confronted him, and initially started a confrontation where Wes outnumbered the guy and used weapons on him. So, does this make Wes Watson tough? This guy lifts weights in the gym, he works out, he's always showing you his bicep in his videos, as you can see right here. He's always angled a certain way, so it looks like he's flexing and it looks like he's a big man. And he's kind of irritated and agitated some people online with his shenanigans and his bullshit and his BS and fuckery, and so people started clapping back at this guy. So Wes Watson decides to clap back as well and calls people out and says, hey, you got a problem, come to my gym, let's meet up, and then we can go somewhere nearby away from the gym and throw those hands or whatever you want. And this guy even invited people to come to his house, to come knock on his door. He gave his address out and told people to come to his house, to his front door. If you got a problem, come call him out. And then from there, you and him can go throw some hands if you got a problem. That in itself was just silly as shit. I mean, I don't even know if he really gave out his real address. I don't know if he put a fake address out there or if he really did give out his real address. Nonetheless, though, it makes this dude look silly and childish. What is he, like 41 or something like that? And he's acting like a tough guy, acting like he's some 18-year-old who wants to prove himself in the hood. A wannabe thug, as I mentioned in a previous video. But so he calls people out. He tells them, come to my gym, come to my house for a one-on-one if you really want it. So when somebody finally does decide to confront him to see if Wes Watson really has balls for a one-on-one, for a fair fight, even though I know some people say that in a street fight, nothing's fair. There is no fairness in a street fight and anything goes. Okay, I get it. But at least Wes Watson could have stood up by himself instead of hiding behind his homies, hiding behind a weight belt, hiding behind cheap shots and pulling hair and dumb shit like that only females do. You know what I'm saying? Females pull hair. I mean, what fucking guy grabs another man's hair? I'm sorry, but that's some female shit. So Wes Watson has the look. He talks the talk, but he only half-ass walks the walk. So we can't really call this dude a tough guy because he used a weight belt to smack a guy who was way taller than him. Obviously, he was intimidated. So he used a weight belt to defend himself against this guy. The guy did confront him, okay? The guy was looking for a confrontation. Obviously, he wanted some clout or something. There's footage out there of the brother man putting down his cell phone, obviously trying to get the clip of him confronting Wes Watson on camera. And then he goes up to him and he proceeds to confront Wes Watson, and he pushes him a little bit. And the guy is really tall. He's like 6'7". He towers over Wes Watson. So, I mean, anybody would be intimidated by that. Tall people are intimidating. Even though Wes Watson, I believe, has more muscle on him than the guy does, the tall brother man did. But, I mean, yeah. So there was some intimidation factor. Wes Watson had his weight belt in hand and he swings it at the guy. And then he proceeds to grab the dude's hair. For a second, it looks like the brother man tries to grab the weight belt from Wes Watson. Somebody else says in another video clip on YouTube that it was actually one of Wes Watson's homeboys that pushed the brother man from behind or hit him with a weight belt, which made him lunge forward again at Wes Watson. And then Wes Watson proceeds to grab his hair and start punching him. And then, his other friends, one or two of his other friends, kick him and cheap shot him. And then Wes kicks the guy while he's already down. So, the brother man was outnumbered as it was. So we can argue if it needed to be fair or not. Okay, the brother man came looking for trouble. He found trouble, obviously. You know, you can't really dictate how something's gonna go when you just come out of nowhere and confront a man that you don't even know other than from his YouTube channel, you know, from the content that he makes on YouTube. So anything goes, right? Okay, I get it. There's no rules in a street fight. Technically, it was a gym fight, but, you know, nonetheless. And, but this still does not make Wes Watson look like the type of guy that'll throw hands on the spot, the type of alpha male that he tries to sell himself as to you and all his viewers. This guy clearly is intimidated and slightly insecure. I mean, if he really believed in himself, he would square up and he'd be able to back it up one-on-one. Now I get it, like in some situations, you never know if somebody's carrying a weapon, a knife, a gun, and they run up on you and they get in your face. So he may have felt like, hey, I don't know what this guy's packing. I don't know if he's got something on him. I'm gonna use my weight. But nonetheless, the cheap shots and the pulling of hair and the assistance from his homies wasn't necessary. I mean, Wes Watson outweighed this guy. The guy was way taller than him, so there was a reach advantage when it comes to like a straight boxing fist fight. Wes Watson, if he had wrestling skills, could have wrestled him to the ground, put him in a chokehold. Obviously, clearly, Wes Watson doesn't know how to fight because he needed a weight belt against a guy much taller than him who he outweighed. But yeah, we can't really look at Wes Watson as a tough guy who needed this assistance from his homies, who needed to pull hair, who needed to use a weight belt. He talked all this shit online because he was mad because of the backlash that people had against him, you know, that was happening towards him. Like, he was getting a lot of backlash, and he couldn't handle it. So he starts calling people out. A lot of people are making videos on him. A lot of people besides me. And he just couldn't handle it. And yeah, the pressure got to him, but he didn't prove anything. If anything, he just made himself look like a weak little man. No lie.